Now that we've seen how to create a new post, I want to cover editing an existing post and also adding some more advanced content, and in this case, images. So to manage an existing post, all you do is simply go to Posts, All Posts, and that's going to take you to the post page that is going to list all of the posts that you've created. And by default, they're going to be in reverse chronological order, so all your newest ones will be right there at the top. And from here, we can edit any of the existing posts. So for example, if I want to edit the item that was there called My New Post, I would just point my cursor to that row and then choose the Edit option. That will take me to a page that really is exactly the same as what we had previously seen when we published the post previously. The only difference really is that now it's going to show the status as being published, and if we were to make any changes, we now have an update button to accept those changes. Now, let's assume that I want to actually add an image to this post. Now, I can certainly add anything I want, more text, more links, whatever, but I'm going to go ahead and just give myself some space down here, and I'm going to add an image. And the way you do that in WordPress is pretty easy. There's an Add Media button right above the content editor, and clicking on that button will bring up the Add Media dialog box. And from here, we can select files in a few different ways. One thing is if we already had previously uploaded any images or other types of media to our WordPress site, we would actually be able to choose it here from this list. But since we are starting from a brand new site and don't have any existing files, we need to upload files. Now, it's actually possible just to drag and drop files into this window. But for this recording, I'm going to take the other option of clicking on the Select Files button. And then I have some images that I've already preloaded on my desktop. So I'm going to choose this one, for instance, that I have called music.jpg and click on Open. And that's going to upload that file to the site there. And it hasn't actually inserted into my post yet. It's just upload the file into WordPress. And after uploading it, if it's selected here, as this one is, I then on the right-hand side have many options for that image. It also provides me with some basic information. So you see that it has the file name, the date that it was uploaded. We have the width and the height of the image in pixels. So in this case, 600 by 350. But of course, it will depend on your specific image as far as what that information is going to say. It does give you the option of editing the image, and it's a cool feature of WordPress that allows you to actually go in and be able to edit images, meaning that you can actually resize them, crop them, rotate them, things like that. I won't be covering that in this video, but it's something just to keep in mind that you can do. It also gives the option of deleting it if you uploaded the wrong image or decide you don't need that image after all. Now down below that, there's some settings that we can actually control, and that includes the title of the image. By default, just takes the file name as the title, but you can change that to whatever you want. You can also add a caption here, and I'll go ahead and add a caption just so you can see where that's going to show up. I'll just call it my caption. And there's an alt text area. The alt text can be pretty important. The alt text area is where you're going to put in text that would be read to someone who's using a screen reader, for example. So in that situation, it might be someone who has some kind of visual impairment and they're unable to see the website, or at least not see it very well, so they can use a screen reader to read them the text of that web page. And when they reach that image in the screen reader, since they can't see the image or can't see it very well, it would instead read them the alternate text that you've specified here. So it would be a good place to describe the image. In this case, it's a building. I'm not even sure which building, so I'll just say, photo of building. It also gives the option of putting a description. Now the description would be something that might be a longer description than what you put in the caption. The description's not always displayed on the page with your post. Sometimes you have to click on the image itself to actually see the description, and that depends on how you have it set up. So that's something that you'll want to play around with, and it really depends on how you're going to be using the image as far as whether you need to specify the description and the caption and all that kind of stuff. Below those settings, we have the option to choose the alignment. The default alignment is none. That's generally going to just mean it's going to default to left aligns, but you can specifically choose the alignment that you want. So for example, I can center it. We also have an option to control how this image gets linked. The default is for an image to be linked as an attachment page, meaning that when someone sees your image in the post and clicks on it, it will bring them to another page in your WordPress site that will actually show them the image and the description, and in many cases give them the option of commenting on the image. In some cases you may not want that, so you might want there to be no link at all, meaning that clicking on the image doesn't do anything at all. Or another option is you might want to link that image to some custom web page that you want to send that person to. Or another option is just to link to the media file, which means that when they click on the image, they're just going to see the full size image loaded in a separate window or tab in their browser. Now below that, we have the option for specifying the size. So in this case, it defaulted to the medium size, but we can have it show it as full size or even a small thumbnail of it. I'll leave it on the medium size just so I can demonstrate how that's going to work. And I'm going to go ahead and leave that link to option set for media file in this case, and that's going to allow people to click on the smaller, the medium version of the image and then see the full version of it. So once you have all the options set, then to insert the image into your post, you're just going to click the Insert into Post button. At that point, it will insert in there, and in this case, it lists the caption below it. And that's something that's a function of your theme. So if you've chosen an alternate theme, then you may find that the caption displays differently or the images just display slightly differently. But usually it's going to look something like this. It's going to usually display the image with the caption right below it. And so now that I've made these changes, I could certainly add any additional content or change existing content if I wanted to. If I want to make changes to the image, I can click on it here in the editor, and I have a couple options. One thing is I do have an option just to delete the image from the post completely. Now it doesn't delete it from the media library, so you can always use it at a later time or insert it into a different post. But it will delete it from this specific post for now. And next to that button, we have the Edit Image button, which if I click on that, it brings me to a screen that gives me various options, many of which we've already seen. Things like choosing the alignment of the image, setting the title, the alternate text, the caption, and so forth. So that's something you may need to go back and make some changes to that stuff. You can also switch over to an Advanced Settings tab, and on that tab you'll have some other options, including setting a specific size of the image. In this case, I don't need to make any changes, so I'm just going to cancel this window. Okay, so I click off the image, and now I can see that the image displays correctly still. And let's just assume that I'm done inserting this image or editing this post, and now I'm just going to click this Update button. Once it's finished updating, you'll get the little bar at the top that shows that the post was updated, and it will let me view the post. I'll go and click on View Post so we can see what it will look like. And we can see now that it looks basically the same as the post looked before, except we now have that image centered in the middle of the post there. And if I were to click on it, it'll actually open up the full size image for me to see. And then I can just go back to the post.